I'm recording this the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and I know, having been in retail for so many years, just what it's like you're spending this weekend to recover. If you're in the retail industry or if you're in a business that has some type of a storefront, big Black Friday stuff, we tend to start in December reflecting on how well we did in sales for this past year. So I got a challenge for you. Through this next 30 days, holiday, right? You've done everything up to this point for prepping. This is the end of the year. You're really trying to bring in your sales. I'm going to challenge you. I want you to stop and watch your entire operation operate. Now, this is going to be, as a leader, one of the more uncomfortable things that you'll do. I'm reminded by, I was working in a grocery store. I had just become a new assistant manager, and this particular store manager was known as an autonomous store manager, which means we worked for a large company, but he basically got to do anything he wanted to do. He ran his store how he wanted to, he merchandised it how he wanted to, but he had earned that right. And what struck me was how he had earned that right. On the busiest days, he would walk with a cup of coffee in his hand, and he would stand at the front door and he would watch. He wouldn't go and do tasks. He wouldn't go and check on merchandising. He wouldn't do anything. He would stand and watch and greet customers and talk to them, ask them how their day went, how their week went, could he help them, that kind of thing. But what he was doing was he was stopping and observing how his total operation was working. How were his customers being treated at the customer service desk? How were, as the customers came into the door, what did they do? Did they go and get shopping cart? Did they grab a hand basket? What did they do? How did they, which direction did they go? Were they shopping for a large amount of groceries at that particular time? Or were they just picking up a few items? So it was all about observation and observing the details. How were the customers being treated? Were they being greeted by associates? Were there lines at the checkout lanes? What was the cleanliness of the vestibule? What did it look like outside? He would stand and observe, and that's how he made his operations better, because now he could take that information and plan better, coach his employees better, because he stood still. We get caught up so much in our daily task list and the things that we have to get done that day as a leader, and we think that we've constantly got to be busy. And in all honesty, as a leader, sometimes you need to stop and step back and watch what's going on. What's your process like? Now, I'm talking about in retail, but this could be in anything. If you own a small office, when's the last time you walked up and looked at that office as a customer? What does the sidewalk look like? What does the signs look like? What does the parking lot look like? As I come into the waiting room, what does that look like? I recently went to an eye doctor visit, and I'm sitting there in the waiting room, and I noticed that there is more dust on the photos in that waiting room than I have ever seen anywhere. For whatever reason, they're not cleaning their waiting room, and the photos are actually bending, and the impression gives that I don't really care. Now, they were very caring, in all honesty, but me as a customer for the first time sitting in their waiting room, my impression was not good. So I'm going to go back and revisit. Stop and observe. Watch what's going on in your operation, and that will help you gain more sales through this next month. And in planning for next year, you'll be able to plan different processes and different coaching methods, different training for your employees, all because you stood still. Stop and watch. I hope you get a lot out of this. Growth takes work, and we got to keep working at it. Talk to you soon.